What's up, guys? So we got a new warrior here with a Nrew on her head and a gigantic pissed off hamster. Yeah, interesting aesthetic. Like I can honestly say this is like the first unit ever to come out. And like I can't stand the way she looks. Like, oh my god. And you know what's weird is some people are gonna call this their waifu. Some fucking weirdos out there. All right, let's just skip ahead here and take a look at her. Um, jeez, weird as fuck. All right, where are the stats? Here we go. So she's a Capricorn warrior. I believe this is Alencia Aravi territory, right? Shit ton of health. She gets a concentrated crit imprint, which is really nice. She's slow. Low base attack, which is fine because she scales off HP anyways. Her defense is decently high. So, Bruiser. Basically, the first real ice bruiser they put in the game. Arguably, you could say SSB is a bruiser as well. And she is. I can see that. Crow's not really a bruiser. I mean, he's does damage. And he's built tanky, but he's still more of a protector unit. I don't really consider Crow a bruiser. Luna, you could build her tanky, but she's not really a bruiser in that sense. This is a real bruiser unit. You know how the people said Alencia was like the green kin. This is like the blue kin. Okay, that's kind of how I'm looking at this. So let's go ahead and we have the very sus skill 3 of assisting in cream, okay? Freezes all enemies before attacking with cream, increases crit resistance of all allies for 2 turns, and grants the caster immunity for 2 turns. Damage dealt increases proportional to the caster's max health. The scaling on this ability is 15% of her max HP, which is pretty damn good. And it's an AoE. So that's pretty good damage. Yeah, pretty good damage. It's a pretty stacked ability as well, giving herself immunity that's pretty self-sufficient. And then crit resist, like, it's either really annoying or it doesn't do anything at all. We know that. But it's a stacked ability that does good damage. And she's ice, which is nice, right? So that's just kind of like my initial thoughts on this here. Let's go forward a little bit. Let's look at it again. Oh, they showed him not hitting a single crit. I bet you this Arbiter Vildred has no crit, just so they make sure it's fucking to show that it works. Alright, we have the skill 2. This skill's kind of nutty. And then how much damage this shit can do. But okay, we got Whoosh. Attacks the enemy by wildly swinging a spear. Penetrates the enemy's defense by 30%. When the caster's stacked focus is 5, consumes all focus, penetrating the enemy's defense by an additional 20%. So it's 50%. You know, like a Sermia S3, like a Violet S3. It ignores half the defense. And it resets the cooldown on Whoosh. Alright, so the damage dealt increases proportional caster's max health. The scaling on this is also 15%. But when you soul burn it, it is 23%. This ability is gonna hit really fucking hard. Is one way to say that. Like, this shit is gonna hit really hard. That's really all you can say about this ability. It's gonna truck people, and it's gonna be nice because she's gonna have the potential to hit really hard while being tanky. So, like a real bruiser should be able to do. So, take a look at this. So yeah, and then we have Chop, which is her skill 1. Attacks the enemy with a spear before increasing the caster's combat readiness by 15%. Damage dealt increases proportional to the caster's max health. There's 10% health scaling on this, which is decent for, you know, an S1. Combat readiness gain is really nice because that's basically giving you free speed. Does this go? It looks like it goes up to 20%. Because I don't think this is max skill enhanced. It goes up to 20. Which is pretty insane, actually. Like, you pair her with, like, a Lilius or Singelica or, you know, I wouldn't say Tamarin so much in RTA, but she can obviously be, you know, you could obviously use her with Tamarin. But mainly, like, Lilius, Ras, and, fucking Singelica. Like, the guaranteed dual attacks. The thing is, like Singelica and Tamarin, and Ras, they pull the highest attack, right? And she's not going to be built with a lot of attack. So if you have another attacker on your team that has higher attack than her, then they're going to get pulled instead. So she's not going to get benefit from getting that free 20 CR, which is pretty beneficial. So this is just another addition. Like, I know so many people love watching people with, you know, an RTA that pick all knights and Alencia and Ruel and Deanne. Okay, well, throw this unit into that mix. That's where she's gonna be played. She has the potential to do really good damage. She has the potential to be built very tanky. Brings team utility in the form of crit resistance. Pretty good unit. As for must pull, I think if you're really into PvP, I think she's definitely worth the pull. But, yeah, they're not... let's check over the artifact here real quick. I haven't even read this yet, so this is new to me. Okay. What the fuck? Wait a minute. Huh. Okay, increases effect resistance by 20%. When the caster suffers a non-critical hit, increase combat readiness by 16%. Can only be activated once per turn. I don't think that's necessarily for her. Like, even in the showcase, they had her on Linsanox's Wrath. They didn't have her using her own artifact in the showcase of the unit. This artifact is insane for the likes of, like, Dark Corvus. Maybe even a Ravi or something like that. Like, this is a replace for, like it's a better Strax because it gives you the CR increase. It's not going to give you as much resistance as Strax, but I think it's pretty nice, especially if you could stack this with, like, a Shamadra's. That's a free 40% effect resistance. And any imprints or whatever. So it's going to be easy to build, you know, a good amount of ER. As for other warriors that I think this is good for, I'm not even sure. Dark Corvus is the one that really comes to mind. Another one maybe G-Purg. I could see G-Purg being pretty good on this, because stacked with his passive, like, he's going to get a nice fat CR boost when he gets hit. To, like, Magahara's Tome levels of boost. Assuming he doesn't get crit. Which is pretty nice. That's really all I see that being used at. Maybe Kitty Clarissa would be pretty good on her, actually, as well. But the non-critical hit thing is the big thing. Most people build their units to crit. Unless you're, like, fighting a Gunther. This artifact's really good against Gunther. So, how many times do you fight Gunther? I use him a lot, but still. If my Gunther hits something that's holding this artifact, he's going to one-shot it anyways. So it doesn't matter. But, yeah. I don't think this artifact's really meant for her. This is more of a utility warrior artifact. You're going to want to run a Linsanox on her, or Portrait, or Draco Plate. You know, you're going to build her like Alencia. But however, Alencia likes to have some effectiveness. I don't think she needs any effectiveness, does she? Let me go back and double check all of her skills again. Kareem, I don't think this just had, yeah, immunity, crit resistance, and then the skill 2. Penetrates defense, Don't need effectiveness to do that. And then there was CR gain on the S1, right? Yeah. So this unit, like when you look at units on like when they need to focus stats, right? So let's just go look at her skill. Let's talk about this real quick. So I can see all the stats. Units that don't need to build a lot of stats typically are very good, right? From what I've seen here, she doesn't need this stat. I don't think you need ER on her. She gives herself an immunity buff. I mean, ER is a pretty shit stat unless you have a lot of it, right? She scales off HP, so attack isn't very useful on her. So we're already ruling out 3 of these. She gets CR in the form of her S1, so I think gets what speed you can from a speed set. She might be good on counter set as well. Or run speed boots with a counter set, or run a speed set with HP boots, something like that. Depending on what your gear looks like, I think is going to be the ideal thing. She gets free crit here. So, like, this is a unit that you're going to be able to, like, literally just make tanky as fuck. Like, the only stats you really need to focus are these. These right here. Crit damage, speed, defense, crit damage. Or, I think I said crit damage twice. I don't know. But yeah, just these 6. Or 5. 5, actually. And then spill over to attack is fine. Flat attack's probably going to be nicer. But, also, if you have a good Alinsonox's Wrath, and you run with this, you can kind of forsake crit as well. Depending on how your gear rolls. So that's really only 4 stats you need to focus on. Like, if you have very optimal gear, this unit is going to be nuts for your account. So, take a look at your gear before you summon. I think she's going to be good for anybody regardless, but that's going to be like the real defining factor. It's like what kind of gear you have for this unit. So, yeah, that's about all I got to say about her. I think she's really good. I think she's on the level of Alencia. Alencia brings a little more utility with a defense buff and a strip. Like, she doesn't have a strip on her S3. I think she would be borderline busted if she gave, like, her entire team immunity instead of just herself. So I think that was good design, in my opinion, that they just let her give it to her. It's the same that they made such a good unit look so fucking stupid. And that's going to be my closing thought. So, if you liked the video, make sure to drop a like on it. You know, you do that by hitting the little thumbs up video. If you didn't like it, go ahead and hit the thumbs down one. But if you hit that button, you have a very high chance of having a small penis. So, hit the other one. And if you're new here, sub. I'm really close to 10,000 subs. If I hit 10,000 subs, maybe I'll do some more videos. I would like to do some more videos, but the motivation's just not there right now. This unit I thought was really cool, so I wanted to do a video on it. But yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.